Pitching is a complex skill performed with speed, fluidity, and power that can be broken down into 4 stages: the pre-motion and start, push-off, landing, and release. Included within the 4 phases is a checklist of mechanical teaching points that are crucial to developing pitchers with proper mechanics.
The first phase of the windmill pitch is the pre-motion and start. First, the pitcher sets up on the mound with their feet staggered and their weight resting largely on their front foot. The pitcher's front foot may start pointing to the catcher or pointed at a slight angle to the right for right-handed pitchers. It's important that the back toe or left toe for a right-handed pitcher is pointed straight towards the catcher. After receiving the signal from the catcher, the pitcher pauses with their hands together and shifts their weight onto their back foot. After pausing, there are 2 ways to start the pre-motion. First, the pitcher may break their hands apart and swing their pitching arm behind them to generate forward momentum toward the catcher. Or pitchers may keep their hands together as they prepare to drive off the mound. Once the pitcher breaks their arms apart or has begun their pre-motion with their hands together, they enter the second phase of the pitching motion. With the push-off phase, pitchers must get into an athletic position by bending their knees slightly and engaging their core. To drive off and away from the mound, the pitcher uses their front pitching arm foot to push down and away from the mound, while coordinating their arms, front leg, and glove side to drive forcefully off the mound toward the catcher. It's at the onset of push-off that the 3 components of the pitching arm and arm circle become important. First, the pitching arm should be long and straight, but not locked out at the elbow. Bending the pitching arm slightly at the elbow allows the wrist snap to be fast at the bottom of the pitcher's downswing. Second, the arm circle needs to remain close to the body. The pitching arm should pass close to the ear at the top of the downswing and brush inside the back hip before ball release. And third, the pitching arm needs to be fast throughout the entire arm circle to build speed to ball release. To break down this phase into more detail, the pitching arm foot pushes off the mound and the heel pivots inward to allow the pitcher's hips to rotate sideways. At the same time, the right knee is picked up high so that the pitching arm has enough time to complete the circle before the right foot is planted back down on the ground. The glove arm points for accuracy toward the catcher. The glove hand needs to come up no higher than shoulder height as it points towards the target. The pitcher's foot touches down at a 45-degree angle on a straight line called the power line that can be imagined between the pitcher and the catcher. At touchdown of the landing foot, the pitching arm should be approximately in the 9 o'clock position. The landing leg needs to be put down hard, and the front knee should be slightly flexed, but strong and firmly planted to absorb the pitcher's landing. In the third phase, the landing, the pitcher's weight shifts into a strong but slightly bent front leg and brings their back knee under their back hip in a movement referred to as stacking. Pulling the back leg to the front allows the pitcher to use the force they generated from their lower body at push-off in their delivery of the pitch to the plate. It's extremely important that the pitcher's front leg remains firm after landing and that the torso stays upright. If the front leg or torso collapses at any time after landing, the pitcher's balance, accuracy, and velocity may be greatly affected. At ball release, the pitcher is still facing sideways, and it's critical that they don't turn back toward the catcher too early. If the pitcher's forearm can't properly brush by the back hip at ball release, this could result in accuracy problems and injury to the shoulder. After landing, the glove arm pulls for power. Once the pitching arm begins its downswing, the glove hand bends at the elbow and pulls toward the waist in a straight line back to the left hip or leg. It's important that the glove motion doesn't cause the hips and shoulders to rotate back towards the catcher before the pitching arm passes by the back hip. The glove hand is pulled back towards the body as the pitcher's legs are brought forcefully together. At finish, the inside of the pitcher's back knee is visible to the catcher, and the back foot may lift off or remain in contact with the ground. As the pitcher's arm enters the bottom of their downswing, the pitcher's upper arm makes contact with their side, and their elbow leads their wrist. The pitcher's wrist snaps sharply at the bottom of their downswing as they release the ball inside their back thigh. At the end of the arm motion, the back of the pitcher's hand should be visible to the catcher, with their arm up toward their glove hand shoulder. Coaches should focus on each of these mechanical teaching points in each of the 4 phases to ensure the developing pitchers learn proper mechanics.